Good morning, everybody. Today's GPS is a reminder about parenthesis. So, what is parenthesis? Parenthesis is the addition of extra information or an afterthought in our writing. It can be a word, it can be a phrase, or it can be a clause marked with brackets, dashes, or commas. When a parenthesis is removed, the sentence still makes grammatical sense. So in other words, the little bit of information that you add in, if you decide to take it away, the sentence would still make sense. For example, I moved to Sheffield in 2011. Then my parenthesis using the brackets when I was 6 years old. If I take the parentheses away, that's all of the words inside of the brackets, it still makes sense on its own. I moved to Sheffield in 2011. Parenthesis punctuation. There are three possible ways to punctuate parenthesis. We've got commas, brackets, and dashes. See if you can spot the parenthesis in these sentences. The first sentence, the narcissist, daffodil, is a spring plant with yellow petals. My brother, the one who lives in Australia, is coming over for Christmas. Manchester won the league today for the 5th season running. As you can see there, in the first sentence, daffodil is the parenthesis, and I've used commas. In the second sentence, I've used dashes, and the words are the one who lives in Australia. And then using brackets for my final sentence and the parenthesis for the 5th season running. How did you do? Well done if you spotted all three. Remember to only put brackets, dashes, or commas around the parenthesis itself. When you're writing, if you do use parentheses, just check that your sentence still makes sense if you took the parentheses away. Add in parenthesis. Write sentences about these pictures where you add a parenthesis. So the first picture there is Superman, Spider-Man, and the Hulk. And the second picture is Supergirl. Have a go at writing some sentences, incorporating some parentheses in. Put the slide on pause. Once you've had a think about it and you've written it down, move to the next slide and see what I have written. So I've written, ready for action, Superman, wearing his trademark red cape, called his friends to join him in the fight against evil. If I took the parentheses away, that sentence would still make complete sense on its own. In the second picture, Supergirl, well known for her super strength and super speed, had beaten Superman to the action. Again, if I took the parentheses away, the sentence that's left still makes sense on its own. Okay, can you make this story more exciting and interesting with the addition of parentheses? There are a few hints, but you might want to add your own excellent ideas. Put this slide on pause, read the story, and then where I've put the hints, see if you can add in parentheses, and you can choose which punctuation marks you want to use for your parentheses. Once you've done that, have a look what I've put in. Okay, so these are my add in parentheses answers. This is what I've put in. Yours doesn't have to be the same, it can be completely different. As long as you've punctuated it correctly and also checked that if you took the parenthesis away, the sentence that's left still makes sense on its own. Persuasive parenthesis. Could you add parentheses to these advertising slogans to make them even more persuasive? So the first sentence is, the Cleanomatic 3000 is the answer to all your cleaning needs. Try Twinkle Pops today. Tasteroids are delicious, healthy snacks. Here's my parenthesis that I've added in. Okay, let's do a quiz. Number 1. Decide whether punctuation parentheses should be in these sentences. Here are the answers. If you got them all correct, well done everybody. Quiz number 2. Identify whether the following sentences correctly use the punctuation for parenthesis. Once you've decided which ones are correct and which ones are wrong, have a look at my answers on the next slide. I've written in the correct parenthesis and how it should be punctuated where it's wrong. That's the end of our reminder, everybody. Please try to include parentheses in your story writing. It makes it more interesting and it uplevels your work.